Chapter 11. Danielle's Puff. You know this is called kidnapping, I told the man as he smirked at me. I was sitting in the front of the car while Michaela and Sam sat in the back. Darling, please, this is an investigation. Investigation? Of what? We certainly did nothing wrong. You most definitely did do something wrong, but it's classified information. Classified my ass, I mumbled, causing him to glare at me. Hey, can its sweet cheeks watch the language? I could put you behind bars. Whoa, did you just flirt and threaten my sister? You know what, you government asshole, I'm going to get you arrested for assaulting my sister. Kid, you see this? This is my I can do whatever I want and get away with it badge, and if I want something from your sister I can get away with it. I looked at him in disgust as Samuel growled loud enough for the whole world to hear. The creep looked away from me as he looked at the mirror at Michaela. You? I remember you, Michaela Baines. Did you ever tell your little friends about your daddy being on parole? He asked as Michaela looked up at him. I was even shocked myself. I knew Michaela's dad for a long time and she hasn't told me he got arrested. She bit her lip as Sam was practically on the verge of tears. What? Parole? It's nothing, guys, really. I thought you were my best friend, Michaela. Yeah, Danny, and you are. Then why haven't you told me that your dad was a grand theft auto? That wasn't nothing, Michaela. She sighed, looking away from us. You know those cars my dad used to teach me to fix? Well, they weren't always mine. Michaela, am I best friends? No, was I best friends with a car stealer? Danny, look, you wouldn't understand, we couldn't always afford a babysitter and he would take me along with him. Michaela, if money was an issue you should have asked me, my mom would have been happy to help. I'd feel too guilty about it, Danny, besides we didn't want anyone's sympathy. She got her juvie record to prove it. She's a criminal and criminals are always evil. Hey, that's my best friend you're talking about, douchebag. I suggest you shut your trap or I will shut it for you. I shouted angrily at him as he just laughed. Sammy, how about I just take both of you to jail? Why do I keep your sister here? She does whatever I say and she won't be in jail. Sounds fair to you? When I get out of these cuffs I will murder you on the spot, Sam said in the darkest voice I have ever heard him in his life. My eyes widened as we hit something big, making the windshield shatter as we began to swerve. Glass was all over me as I felt one cut my cheek open. A hand grabbed the car as I felt myself being lifted in the air as the roof of it was torn off by a big hand. A smile came on my face as I saw Optimus look at me with relief and worry in his optics. Optimus! I shouted happily as he lightly smiled at me. Optimus growled at the creep as he was angry. Taking the children was a bad move. Nobody touches or threatens Danny, do you understand me? Autobots relieve them of their weapons. Well, Optimus is pissed, told Yates his new girlfriend, Ironhide says as a blush came to my face. Danny climbs on my hand as goes for the both of you as well, Optimus says, offering his other hand out as I smiled and began climbing on him. Once Michaela, Sam, and I reached his palm, he dropped the creep's car down to the ground as he screamed. Danny, you're bleeding all over, Ratchet. No, Optimus, I'm fine, I promise. It's a couple of cuts from the glass. You're my savior, Optimus, and I thank you for that, I say, hugging his finger as he hummed in response. I'd do anything to keep you safe, Danny. Okay, look, Optimus, this thing you got going on between you and my sister is... Sam, shut up, don't ruin the moment. Freeze! Ironhide yelled, pointing the weapons at the humans as I let go of Optimus's finger. Whoa! Whoa! Creep screams as his hands were raised in the air. Give me those, you son of a bitches, ain't nobody taking my girl, Jazz says, grabbing the weapons and crushing them. I don't know if I heard correctly, but I believe Optimus did a very low growl at Jazz after the "my girl" comment. Is he jealous? And is it really strange that I think it's really hot that he's jealous? Whoa, hey, now we own those, Creep says from down below as Optimus looks at him and growls furiously. Seriously, what is with him and growling? Hi there. You don't seem afraid of us. Are you not surprised to see us? Look, the RS-7 protocol's okay. I am not authorized to communicate with you except to tell you that I can't communicate with you. Looks like Mr. Creep here is afraid of Optimus. You can take him out, Optimus. Squish him if you must. Why, Danny, did he do something to you? He tried to assault me. Optimus growled as his optics became hard as he glared at Mr. Creep. Get out. Now, Optimus demanded, anger clear in his voice. All right, me? You want me to? Now. Sam, I think he's really pissed, I hear Michaela whisper as I smirked when Mr. Creep began getting out of the car. All right, I'm out. Is that better for you now? You know what's better for me? Me killing you after flirting with my sister. Sam. But I got a better idea. You're good with handcuffs too, right? He asked as Optimus lowered his hand down. Michaela and Sam got off, but I stayed on. Something wrong, Danny? I'm comfortable with me in your palm, Optimus. Is there any chance for you to be my guardian instead? His optics widened a little. You want me to be your guardian? If you don't mind, but if you're too busy. I'd love to. I never really thought you'd ask. Why is that, Mr. Prime? Because. Danny, a little help here? Sam says as they got Mr. Creep into a pole. Our conversation is not finished, I told him with a wink before getting off his hand. After our cuffs were off, Sam, Michaela and I cuffed Mr. Creep to a pole and stripped him down naked until all was left was his boxers. What was that talk with you and Optimus? Sam, you don't have to question everything, I say as we began walking away. Look, you're getting too close to him and I don't. Sam, look, I get it, you don't like it, but I do. It feels right being with Optimus and I want to experiment a little more. Experiment? What do you mean experiment? She means she may have feelings for Optimus, Michaela answers as Sam's mouth hung open. You just met him? Yeah, and I want to get to know him a little more. Danielle, Sam began but stopped as a sound of a helicopter was heard. That bitch, I cursed, glaring at Mr. Creep, who just smirked at me as he had winked. Chapter 12. Danielle's Puff. Optimus incoming. Ironhide yelled as Optimus looked up and his eyes widened. Danny, Sam, Michaela on my hand now, Autobots roll out, Optimus says as we each climb back on his hand. Optimus, will you be okay? You won't get hurt, right? He chuckled. Danny, me being hurt by humans is highly unlikely, but my own kind, that's a different story. I just really don't want you getting hurt, I say as a tear fell from my eye. With his free hand, he placed a finger on my cheek and wiped the tear away as our eyes locked together. Optimus, stop making out with your girlfriend and come on. Ironhide yelled from afar as I blushed and looked away. He nodded as Optimus started running and placed us on his shoulder instead. I think he likes you, Danny, Michaela says with a soft smile. I know, I think I'm starting to like him. Is that weird? Kinda, yeah it is, but hey, if you like him you like him. Which I do not approve. Sam, you should be happy with her. Michaela, if you haven't realized, he isn't exactly human. Optimus was underneath the bridge as the helicopters passed us by. Danny, are you okay? Yes I am, and you? I'm fine. Sure, only ask my sister if she's alright, Sam grumbled, crossing his arms. Sam, what are you jealous of? You know exactly why I'm mad at you. Guys, instead of arguing, the helicopters are coming back, Michaela points out as Optimus grabbed a cement block and hoisted it up, which caused him to be in a horizontal way as I slowly felt myself losing my grip on him. "Oh, Optimus," I said, scared as I was going to fall off, but Sam and Michaela both grabbed each of my arms as I was dangling in the air. "Danny, hold on, make sure you all hold onto her," he says in a stern and worried voice. "Guys, if I intend to die like right now, please never forget me. And never say that, cause I won't allow you to die," Optimus says, our eyes firmly locked on each other as my heart started pumping faster in my chest. Michaela's hand slipped as I screamed but stopped as Sam helped me with both of his arms instead. "Way to go, Michaela." "Sorry, my hand slipped. I can't hold on much longer." "Then just let go," I say as I looked at him in the eyes. "Are you crazy? I will not let my little sister die." "Sam," I say as he tried to hold me up, but it only caused him to lose his grip on me as I began to fall. "Danny!" Optimus shouted as everything turned into slow motion. I never thought this is how I would die, falling off of a giant alien robot who I might actually like, and I never even got to tell him that I did like him. Optimus began moving his feet as if he was trying to catch me, but I had to have missed as I felt myself getting closer to the ground. "Optimus!" I shouted, scared as I closed my eyes tight. When I didn't feel anything, I slowly opened my eyes to see that B had caught me as his body collided with the cement. Tears brimmed in my eyes at the near-death experience I almost had. "Don't cry, Danny, Optimus wouldn't like that, I got you," he says with a reassuring smile as I wiped my tears away, but more began flowing. The helicopters came back around as they saw Bumblebee. He stood up with me still in his hand as his other hand held his cannon weapon. "B, we got to leave, come on or you'll be captured." It was too late, for I was still in B's hand as a metal line of some sort shot out of B's wrist as they circled him, making him go to the side along with me as he held onto me tighter in his body. "No, wait, stop my sister!" Sam tried to shout, but they wouldn't listen. "Danielle!" Michaela yelled as the other helicopter aimed the rope at B for his other wrist. The ropes were on tight as B was still trying to hold onto me as well as he tried to get the ropes off of him. "No, stop please, my sister is still there." They began tying up Bumblebee's legs, making it impossible for him to get out as he fell right back to the ground as I screamed, "Bumblebee! Danny, leave, I don't want you to get captured with me." "No, I won't leave B, we're in on this together." "Danny leaves now," he tried again as he still tried getting out of the chains. "Look, my sister is right there, you can't have Bumblebee," Sam yelled as I looked to see him and Michaela down on the ground. "Danny looks at me, go now, you have to go now please, for Optimus's sake," he says as he stopped trying to fight and looked at me in the eyes. I had roughly pulled away from Bumblebee's grasp as I screamed when I looked to see it was Mr. Creep, who was now fully dressed, climbing down and off of him. "Bumblebee!" I shouted as I tried reaching for him, but Mr. Creep pulled me away. "Freeze it!" someone shouted as I saw ice being sprayed all over B as tears leaked into my eyes. B let out a howled pain as I saw his optics begin to offline. Mr. Creep pulled me towards him even tighter. "Hey, I saved your ass, sweet cheeks, you owe me." "I don't owe you anything, let go of me." It only caused him to hold on to me tighter. "Happy to see me again? Your brother and his criminal girlfriend will be riding in the car while I have different plans for you. Everyone move out, let's get ready for transport," he shouted as I saw my brother and Michaela roughly put in the car as I was being pulled into a different one. Mr. Creep closed the door as he walked over to the other side of the driver's seat. "What are you going to do to me, Mr. Creep? First of all, my name is Agent Simmons, got that? And second of all, you'll find out in time what I'm to do with you," he says as he touched my leg as I had jerked back, only causing him to smile even more. Optimus's puff. I was upset and angry at the way the man handled Danny and the others. With Bumblebee gone, my emotions started to rise within me. Hang back, let me check it out, Jazz says. Optimus, it's clear, but are we to stand here and do nothing? That guy is Dunny and the others who know what's going to happen to her. I didn't like the way that guy was all over her, and let's face it, you don't either. You've fallen for the human prime. We have to save her and Bumblebee. There's no way to free Bumblebee without harming the others, and I know Danny's current position. There's nothing we can do about it. Prime, you love this woman, don't you? And you're letting some other man handle your woman. I can see clearly that she likes you as well, Optimus. You're her knight in shiny armor. She expects you. Ironhide, drop it. Let them leave, for we will figure out a way to save everyone without harming the humans.
Well, I do hope you enjoyed the videos so far and video game content. And don't forget to subscribe, hit that like button, and leave a comment down below. And I noticed 40% of you guys are not subscribed to the channel. If you can, please subscribe to the channel. It'll help me and help the channel grow. Until next time, goodbye!